Final Fantasy is a 1987 role-playing video game developed and published by Square. It is the first game in Square's legendary Final Fantasy series, created by Hironobu Sakaguchi. Originally released for the Nintendo NES, Final Fantasy was remade for several video game consoles, including the PlayStation, PlayStation Portable, and most recently, the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster for various consoles. This is the version this series shall be based upon, which I believe to be a fine choice because it blends a mixture of both classic and modern gameplay and quality of life changes into an experience people of all ages can enjoy as an ASMR entertainment experience. The story of Final Fantasy follows four youths called the Warriors of Light, who each carry one of the world's four elemental crystals, which have been darkened by the four elemental fiends. Together, they quest to defeat these evil forces, restore light to the crystals, and save the world. Final Fantasy was originally conceived under the working title Fighting Fantasy, but trademark issues and dire circumstances surrounding Square, as well as Sakaguchi himself, prompted the name to be changed. The game was a groundbreaking commercial success and received positive reviews. More importantly, Final Fantasy spawned many successful sequels and supplementary titles in the form of the Final Fantasy series. As of the time of this video's recording, there are 16 mainline Final Fantasy titles, not even including sequels or spin-off series. The original Final Fantasy is widely regarded as one of the most influential and successful role-playing games of all time, playing a major role in popularizing the RPG genre. By March 2003, all versions of Final Fantasy had sold a combined 2 million copies worldwide. And, as of the time of this recording, in October 2024, the Final Fantasy video game series has generated approximately 195 million lifetime unit sales, making it one of the most popular gaming franchises worldwide. Final Fantasy begins as a straightforward action role-playing adventure with swords, magic, dragons, and a grand world to explore, whereas the sequels have been praised for their willingness to expand these features and vastly change the plot with each title. The gameplay and even the story completely changes each title. Some Final Fantasy games are more traditional medieval stories, while others are futuristic and mixed with science fiction elements. Truly, the Final Fantasy series is so varied that many people find different versions to be their personal favorite. I believe there's a Final Fantasy for everyone. Final Fantasy has 4 basic game modes: an overworld map, town, and dungeon maps, a battle screen, and a menu screen. The overworld map is a scaled-down version of the game's fictional world, and the player uses it to direct characters to various locations, the primary means of travel across the overworld. The game's plot develops as the player progresses through towns and dungeons. Some town citizens offer helpful information, while others own shops that sell items or equipment. Combat in Final Fantasy is menu-based. The player selects an action from a list of options such as attack, magic, and use item. Battles are turn-based and continue until either side flees or is defeated. If the player's party wins, each character will gain not only experience, but also money, which is known as gil in the Final Fantasy universe. Final Fantasy was the first game to show the player's characters on the right side of the screen and the enemies on the left side of the screen, as opposed to a traditional first-person view. The player begins the game by choosing 4 characters to form a party and is locked into that choice for the duration of the game. Each character has a job, or alternatively known as a character class, with different attributes and abilities, which can be acquired or either innate. There are 6 classes: warrior, thief, monk, red mage, white mage, and black mage. Later in the game, the player has the option to have each character undergo a class upgrade, wherefore their sprite portraits mature, and some classes gain the ability to use weapons and magic that they previously could not use. Magic is a common ability in the game, and several character classes use it. Spells are divided into 2 groups: white magic, which is defensive and healing, and black magic, which is debilitating and destructive. Hironobu Sakaguchi had intended to make a role-playing game for a long time, but his employer Square refused to give him permission as it expected low sales of such a product. However, when the RPG known as Dragon Quest was released and proved to be a hit in Japan, the company reconsidered its stance on the genre and approved Sakaguchi's vision of an RPG inspired by Ultima and wizardry. Only 3 of his colleagues volunteered to join this project because he was thought of as a rough boss. Eventually, Final Fantasy was developed by a team of 7 core staff members, which Square referred to as the A-Team. Sakaguchi convinced fellow game designers Koichi Ishii and Akitoshi Kawazu to join the project. Kawazu was mainly responsible for the battle system and sequences, which he based heavily on the tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons and the RPG Wizardry. For example, enemies' weaknesses to elements such as fire and ice had not yet been included in Japanese RPGs up until that point. Kawazu had grown fond of such aspects of Western RPGs and decided to incorporate them into Final Fantasy. He greatly advocated the player's option to freely choose their own party member classes at the beginning of the game, because he felt that the fun in an RPG begins when the players create a character. I definitely agree. The scenario for the game was written by freelance writer Kenji Terada, based on a story by Sakaguchi. Ishii heavily influenced the game's setting with his idea of the 4 crystals. He also suggested illustrator Yoshitaka Amano as character designer, but Sakaguchi declined at first, as he had never heard the artist's name before. When Sakaguchi showed Ishii some drawings on magazine clippings and told him this was the art style he was looking for, Ishii revealed to him these were actually created by Amano, hence leading to his involvement in the game. The music for Final Fantasy was composed by legendary composer Nobuo Uematsu and marked his 16th video game music composition. Despite having a competent team of people of different skills and ideas, there was a lack of faith in Sakaguchi's team, as well as its unpopularity within the company. This gave the team the motivation to try their very best. Over the years, several theories have emerged as to why the game was called Final Fantasy. In 2015, Sakaguchi revealed that from the beginning, the team had wished for a name that could be shortened to FF. That way, the game's title could be abbreviated in the Latin script and pronounced in 4 syllables in the Japanese language. The original working title for Sakaguchi's RPG concept was Fighting Fantasy, but was changed to avoid issues with a gamebook series of the same name that had already been released. The reason for choosing the word final to form the eventual title of Final Fantasy was explained as twofold by Uematsu. For one thing, it stemmed from Sakaguchi's personal situation, as he would have quit the game industry and gone back to university had the game not sold well. And for another reason, Square was under the threat of bankruptcy at the time, which meant that the game could very well have been the company's last, a Final Fantasy. Although Sakaguchi confirmed some of the theories, he later downplayed the rationale for choosing the word final, saying that it was definitely a back-to-the-wall type of situation back then. But any word really that starts with F would have been fine. It's a good idea though, isn't it? Final Fantasy has gone from being a last stand kind of creation. Final Fantasy has gone from being a last stand kind of creation, something made knowing that the end could very much be near, and ironically, has gone on to become one of the most successful gaming franchises of all time, cementing its status as a legendary title amongst gaming history. And now, I have the pleasure of bringing this legendary game to you in an ASMR entertainment form for every single one of you to enjoy anytime you like, for relaxation, fun, or nostalgia. Either way, I hope you enjoy this series, and if you do, feel free to check out the rest of my channel, where I provide full playthroughs of other games, character roleplays, and more miscellaneous, strange content. I would greatly appreciate your company, and any likes, comments, and subscribes, my friends. But without further ado, let's get started and begin our adventure. And so, our story begins. In the world, there were 4 crystals: earth, wind, water, and fire. 4 centuries ago, the Lufenian people used the wind crystal's power to build a giant flying fortress and magnificent airships. The wind crystal eventually lost its light, which drove the Lufenians' homeland into decline. Tiamat, the fiend of wind, attacked the Lufenians and took out their flying fortress, alongside the sacred Mirage Tower. In response, the Lufenian known as Sid hid an airship in the southern continent. 2 centuries after Tiamat, the fiend of water, Kraken, sunk the center of an oceanic civilization to make it his personal lair and darken the water crystal. In the present day, 2 centuries after Kraken, the fiend of earth, Lich, awakens and darkens the earth crystal, causing the land around the town of Melmond to decay. And in the midst of all this, Maralith, the 4th fiend of fire, emerged to spread flame across the entire world. At some point in the middle of all this, the wise sage, Lucan, tells of a prophecy about 4 warriors of light who will save the world in a time of darkness. The prophecy speaks of 4 unknown warriors who shall arrive at a moment when the world is in crisis and restore the crystals to grace. And one day, the 4 warriors would appear. The 4 warriors of light arrive at the kingdom of Cornelia, each carrying a darkened crystal of each element. They are recruited by the king of Cornelia to rescue the kingdom's princess Sarah, who has been kidnapped by the rogue Cornelian knight, Garland, the finest swordsman in the land. Together, the warriors of light shall go henceforth and restore the crystals to grace. This video is a playthrough of a game created with the intention of evoking ASMR, Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, and hopefully having some fun along the way. Whether this video brings you relaxation, entertainment, nostalgia, I only hope that you enjoy the completed product. So please, sit back and relax as we begin our next great adventure and restore the crystals to glory. Let us begin Final Fantasy ASMR. Please enjoy, my friends, and let us restore the crystals to grace. And welcome, my friends, to the very beginning of perhaps one of the most iconic and legendary gaming titles of all time, Final Fantasy. A single game made many years ago, which has spawned into so many sequels of different varying styles, gameplay methods, stories, and musical scores. Please join me as we go back to the very beginning in Final Fantasy ASMR. Please enjoy, my friends. We are playing Final Fantasy, the Pixel Remaster, which I believe to be the best of both worlds, mixing the old-school gameplay of the original with some slight modern touches to make the gameplay experience more accessible for old-timers and newcomers alike. Before we begin, we can go into options and configure our settings. I'm going to change it so that the font is in more of a classical style, a little bit more blocky. If we wish, we can change the soundtrack to be the original OST released many years ago. It's the same song as it was originally played many moons ago. I heard a comment somewhere on the internet. It's quite funny, actually. This song is very famous and legendary. Someone once said, "All rise for the RPG national anthem." Even people who have never played Final Fantasy possibly can recall this song being heard somewhere. Now, we're going to go with the arrangement. They have had more than a few decades take classic songs done in an older style and give them a classic orchestral arrangement. I think this arrangement is suitable for what we're looking for. Now, allow me to explain Final Fantasy and how it became so iconic by beginning our adventure in Final Fantasy ASMR. Please enjoy, my friends, and let us begin our legendary adventure. Let's begin. New game. Final Fantasy, specifically Final Fantasy 1. Before you begin, you have to select your character, your party of 4 warriors of light. You can pick from 6 classes. The warrior, who can use a wide array of weapons and armor. The thief, who nimbly runs circles around opponents. The monk, who specializes in bare-knuckled attacks. The red mage, proficient in both black and white magic. The white mage, who supports the party with white magic. The black mage, damages opponents with black magic. Out of these 6 classes, we can only take 4 with us. So, I will explain my reasoning behind this. The warrior has high attack and high defense, ready to protect his friends from evil. The thief is quick and has strong attack and can allow you to escape battles easily whenever you feel overwhelmed. The monk, who doesn't even require weapons to do a serious amount of damage, and befitting of a monk, will actually do more damage the less items and equipment and weapons he has on him. The red mage can use both black and white magic, as well as weapons normally reserved for the warrior and thief, a very versatile class. The white mage is exclusively able to use white magic. Same thing with the black mage. White magic to support the party, heal, restore. Black magic used to annihilate foes, pure offense. Now, allow me to explain my choice of party. I am going to select a warrior, a monk, and a white mage and a black mage. Allow me to explain my choice. The thief is an iconic Final Fantasy class. However, this is the very first Final Fantasy. Thieves usually have the ability, allowing them to steal items from their opponents. However, as this is the first Final Fantasy, that ability does not yet exist. So the thief is fast and powerful, but a little bit lacking in this entry. Still powerful and completely viable, but we're going to go in a different direction. We're going to go with the monk. The monk is a very potent, satisfying, and fun class to play in this game. You'll see what I mean as we go through our adventure. So we will have a warrior, high attack and defense. The monk, with high attack, forged in the fires of battle. We are also going to avoid using the red mage. The red mage is very useful. You can attack, heal, and cast magic of both classes. However, you do not get to truly master the spells. What I mean by this is, the red mage can learn black and white magic up to a certain level, but then the white and black mages get access to the very endgame spells, the most potent variants of healing and offensive magic. So because of this, I'm going to bring one of each, one white mage and one black mage. Now, it's time to name our 4 warriors of light who will set forth to save the world from ruin. I tried to think of some names that would be suitable. Usually Final Fantasy character names are derived from various mythologies, religions, historical figures, meaningful names. So I hope you like the ones I have chosen. First of all, our black mage. We are going to call our black mage Erebus, a name associated with the underworld. The underworld usually associated with darkness, magic, mystery. Erebus, you can't even see their face. But as a black mage will specialize in abilities that will allow us to destroy our foes with the power of the arcane. Erebus, a name derived from the underworld. And from that black darkness, we gain power. Next, we are going to name our white mage. In the classic Final Fantasy games, the gender of the protagonists, for the most part, are quite androgynous. Besides a few masculine-looking sprites, they never tell you if the character is male or female. Who knows? These could be very masculine females if you want to headcanon it that way. That's part of the fun. The adventure is whatever you make it to be. In my headcanon, the white mage is a female. And I tried to think of a name that would suit someone who uses the abilities of white magic to heal, support, protect, and banish the undead. So I got a little bit creative with this one. Hopefully you don't mind. We are going to call our white mage Lucille, a variant of the name Lucille, Lucille, a name which is derived from the moon. The moon is most commonly associated with, well, the moon. In many cultures, the moon is associated with healing, light, guidance. You look to the moon for guidance. And the moon is often associated with many mystical properties. Also, it shines bright, just like white magic. And Lucille, in this little variant of the name, I think sounds quite feminine, but also powerful. Just because the character is a female doesn't make them any weaker than the rest. Every party member has their purpose to serve in this Final Fantasy ASMR adventure. Next, we're going to have a bit of fun with this one. The monk. I got a little bit creative, and I found one that I think works. The monk who fights with their bare hands. I thought I would give them an Asian-influenced name, derived from one of the ancient symbols of Chinese culture, Zhenwu. You may pronounce it Zhenwu or Shenwu. Apologies if I'm not doing the pronunciation right. Zhenwu is considered to be a patron saint in Chinese ancient mythology and religion, whichever one you believe in, and is considered a patron god of martial arts. So I split up the names so I'm not just blatantly calling the character a religious figure. I just wanted to give an Asian influence. After all, that's where a vast majority of martial arts stems from, by its very roots. Zhenwu, who will be able to obliterate the enemies like a true monk. No need for earthly possessions, only your own spirit and hard work to craft a body, mind, and spirit able to destroy any foes in our path. And finally, the warrior, the iconic warrior of light that is so ingrained in the mythology of Final Fantasy. It put a lot of pressure on me to give the main protagonist, in my eyes, of Final Fantasy. While these four warriors of light are equally important, I wanted to give the warrior a significant name. Because in spin-off games you can only select one character, so let's make this one's name count. We are going to call our warrior of light Amano. This works out very conveniently. In Final Fantasy history, there is a Japanese visual artist known as Yoshitaka Amano, who is responsible for some of the most iconic designs of Final Fantasy characters, a very legendary style that is associated with Amano in modern times. And I thought it would be a nice little tribute for their legendary work to name the original main hero of the Four Warriors of Light after a legendary and talented artist. Thanks for the years of great artwork, Amano. Also, this actually really works, because apparently the name Amano in Japanese can translate to Heaven's Field or Heaven Field, and I think that works perfectly, because this is a warrior of light. Light normally associated with heaven, and a warrior of light. Where do warriors typically have their battles? On a battlefield. Heaven Field. Amano. I think we're all set up for this legendary adventure that stands the test of time, and its influence continues to grow as more game series are inspired by the legendary title Final Fantasy. We have selected our party. All you have to do now, my friends, is sit back and relax. Together we will master the system and begin our adventure in Final Fantasy. ASMR. I got this. So take it easy. And let us begin the next great adventure in Final Fantasy. ASMR. Let us begin from the very beginning. The world lies shrouded in darkness. The winds die. The seas rage. The earth decays. But the people believe in a prophecy, patiently awaiting its fulfillment. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. After a long journey, 4 young travelers did at last appear. And in the hand of each was clutched a crystal. Welcome to Final Fantasy ASMR. A legendary adventure has now begun. The 4 warriors of light, Amano, Shenwu, Lucille, and Erebus. 4 young warriors have gathered here, with crystals in each hand, seeking to save the world from ruin. As we listen to the beautiful and uplifting orchestral soundtrack, it gets me in the mood to begin this great adventure and save the world. Let us set out. Before we go to the castle, let us enter the nearby town. Cornelia. We can walk around this town, speak with villagers. This is Cornelia, the city of dreams. A dancer. Hi there, I'm a dancer. What's that? You're a dancer, me? We would, but we gotta save the world. Hero business. Restore the crystals to grace. Listen to the beautiful orchestral soundtrack that has become so legendary over the years. And hopefully, relaxing to you, my dear friends. I once lived far to the east of here, in the harbor city of Provoca. These days, I hear it's turned into a pirate's den. That doesn't sound good. Final Fantasy on the surface seems like a very simple, basic adventure, but this game was the blueprint for many in the years to come since its release. Many game series have took the Final Fantasy formula and perfected it over the years, and a lot of ideas stem from Final Fantasy I and its magnitude of wonderful ideas. Please rescue Lady Sarah. Lady Sarah, is she in trouble? The king truly believes in Lucan's prophecy, that the warriors of light will come to save the princess. The princess is in trouble. A typical tale, hero saving a princess from peril. Now, allow me to explain some gameplay mechanics. There are none in need of my services. Do not lose heart, brave warriors. We can enter the church here if any of our warriors fall in battle, and revive them here by the grace of the light. Inside here, this little house indicated with a little kettle. This is a store. We can buy many goodies that we need in our travels. You can buy a potion to restore health, high potion to restore more, either to restore your magic, Phoenix down to revive fallen allies, an antidote cure poison, eye drops to cure darkness, echo grass to cure silence, a gold needle to cure stone, a remedy to cure anything except petrification and KO. Also, a sleeping bag that can act like a mini inn, allowing us to restore health in the overworld, and a tent, which is significantly better, a cottage, which is the best option, but expensive. We'll buy a few sleeping bags. We're out on a big adventure. We might need to rough it out in the field. So, we will need to head to item shops throughout our travels to restock on supplies. Keep ourselves in high health and high spirits as we explore the land throughout nearby Cornelia. These two buildings indicate an armor and weapon shop. Welcome. Nunchucks, a knife, a staff, a rapier, and a hammer. For now, we are going to equip Shen Wu with a set of nunchucks. We're also going to buy a mano, a rapier, which will improve his attack. But that doesn't mean Lucille can't do some damage. Lucille might physically be on the weaker side. That's not going to stop us from giving her a hammer and allowing her to really wreak some hell amongst our foes. Thanks. Now, we need armor to protect ourselves. For now, Zhenwu is a powerful ally, but he will need armor and a weapon for now. I'll explain this later as we get further into the adventure. Leather armor. Now, an important detail. Speaking with player characters and non-player characters, like this villager here, will give you hints for what you need to do. Oh please, you must rescue the princess. Sage Lucan said something about finding the crescent moon, and then he just up and left town. This Lucan sounds wise. Perhaps he'll find him someday. These two last buildings signify shops that sell magic, of the school of black magic and white magic. We have a black mage, Erebus. Now, Erebus can learn 3 spells at a time, so we have to pick 3 out of these 4 spells. Fire, which deals fire damage to an enemy. Sleep, which puts all enemies to sleep. Focus, which lowers an enemy's evasion, making them easier to hit. And Thunder, which deals lightning damage to one enemy. Now, hopefully I'm casting a black magic sleep spell, and you're passed out by now, hopefully having pleasant dreams and a nice time. But hey, nothing stopping us having fun while you're awake either. Thank you for joining us in the adventure. We're going to prioritize 2 spells here. Sleep and Fire. Gonna save our gil. Yeah, that's right. Final Fantasy currency is commonly referred to as gil, just in case you get mixed up. And now we're going to buy spells for Lucille. Lucille can learn Cure, which restores a little HP to an ally. Dia, which deals damage to all undead enemies. Protect, which can raise an ally's defense. Or Blink, which raises the caster's evasion. We most certainly will need Cure to heal, Deer to attack undead enemies, and when we get more money, we will buy Protect. Now, before we set out further on this adventure, let me explain how our party, our 4 Warriors of Light, are going to function. By pressing a button, you can see our party: Amano, Zhenwu, Lucille, and Erebus. We can equip them with weapons and armor. Amano has a knife as a starting weapon, but we can give him a rapier to increase his attack at the cost of some accuracy. We need raw power right now, so the rapier is a good option. We're going to give him leather armor to boost his defenses. Next, Zhenwu. We're going to give him his weapon, nunchucks. And for now, we're going to give him leather armor to protect himself. Over time, Zhenwu will grow powerful enough, after enough training, to no longer need weapons or armor, but we'll get to that when it arrives. Lucille has a staff, but can also equip hammers, giving her a much more powerful weapon. Lucille is the most frail, tied for last place with Erebus, but these are characters built for casting spells, not absorbing damage. And we will give the knife that belonged to Amano to Erebus. Even though you drop 1 point in attack, accuracy is important too. Now we have 4 Warriors of Light. Lucille can cure and damage the undead, so she can still pack a punch. Erebus can put foes to sleep and set them ablaze with fire. Now that we've got our party all set up, it's time to begin our adventure in Final Fantasy ASMR. Preparation is key to victory. Hopefully we'll be hearing victory fanfare very soon. The king is searching for the prophesized Warriors of Light. Those crystals. You must see the king at once. Welcome, travelers. I am told you carry crystals. Is this true? It is just as Lucan's prophecy foretold. When darkness veils the world, 4 Warriors of Light shall come. The prophecy foretold of our arrival. Your Majesty, we cannot be certain that these are the warriors foretold by the prophecy. Yet they stand before us with the crystals. I cannot dismiss this as mere coincidence. Crystal bearers, there is a task I would ask of you. Will you rescue my daughter, Sarah, Princess Sarah? Garland, a knight once in His Majesty's service, has abducted Princess Sarah. I ask for your aid in the name of His Majesty, the King of Cornelia. Garland has taken refuge in the Chaos Shrine, which lies to our north. Of course, we did attempt to save the princess ourselves, but Garland is the finest swordsman in the kingdom. We have none who can match him. I have heard that you wish to journey to the continent to our north. The bridge leading north was lost long ago, making passage impossible. If you can rescue Sarah, I will have the bridge rebuilt as a token of my gratitude. Go now, Warriors of Light, and do not fail me. So we have our mission. The Warriors of Light seek to go to the north, but the bridge has been destroyed. If we save Princess Sarah from Garland, the finest swordsman in the kingdom gone rogue, we can restore the bridge. The dancing girl in town knows many odd bits of information. If you find yourself astray, try talking to her. She may know something that can put you back on course. The Warriors of Light have come at last. How long have we waited for this day to come? Garland is no longer the man I once knew. I beg of you, please return my daughter to me quickly. We have our mission objectives. Save Princess Sarah from Garland. Our reports say that Garland fled north of the princess to the Chaos Shrine. All right. Now we have our mission, and we are well prepared. The king is searching for the Warriors of Light. Those crystals. Could it be? The orchestral music really helps give us the vibe of a grand adventure. Garland was once the greatest knight in the kingdom, but power consumed him, and he lost sight of who he really was. Oh dear. What if Garland remained a hero? Please, please save Lady Sarah. We will. We will do what we must. The Queen. I am Jane, Queen of Cornelia. Please, please bring my daughter, my Sarah, back to me safely. We have our mission. A sister? My sister. I want my sister. Let's not break the kid's heart. Save our big sister, Lady Sarah. What's this over here? Our ancestors sealed weapons within this treasure room 400 years ago. They then gave the key to the Elf King to hold until the coming of the Warriors of Light. If we encounter this Elf King, perhaps we can unlock this treasure, which has been secured with a mystic key. We'll need to come back here at some point if we find this so-called Elf King. Now, we are back in the world map. This is a feature that is added in the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. The original game did not feature a world map. We are right pretty much in the center of the world. Cornelia. Now, we can also find every location that we have been to. Castle Cornelia has 6 treasure chests we have not yet opened. And Cornelia is highlighted here, telling us what services we can access. An inn, an item shop, a weapon, armor shop, and magic shops for black and white magic. Now, we need to go up to the north to save Princess Sarah. Let's go. But you can be sure there's danger ahead. We will deal with it together, my friends. Let us set off and begin Final Fantasy ASMR. Let's go. The bridge, destroyed long ago. An enemy encounter. When you walk in the overworld, there's a chance you may trigger a battle. A wolf has attacked us. We have the option to use items with Amano. you select a command. Zhenwu can use items or attack. Lucille can either cure or damage the undead, or attack with her hammer. Erebus can put the foe to sleep or set them ablaze. This single wolf doesn't pose much of a threat, so let's just attack them all out. Victory fanfare. We have won our first battle in Final Fantasy. Winning a battle gives you experience points, allowing your character to level up and become stronger. Now, anytime you walk in the overworld, a battle could commence, so you need to make sure you are well prepared for any eventuality. That was just one wolf, but there's many more enemies to come. Let's keep going. A dock here. A ship could land here if we had one. Free goblins. Alright. Attack, attack, and attack. Free goblins go down. Get used to hearing that victory song, because it's become iconic for Final Fantasy. It's used in pretty much every single game, just about. Enemies can spawn as few as a single foe to almost double digits. So now we have to fight 4 goblins. This is a good way to train and show you how Final Fantasy's combat system works. Four goblins have gone down. And in doing so, every member of the Warriors of Light levels up. Amano gains more health points, allowing him to take more damage before falling, and more strength. Zhenwu gains more luck, which increases the chance of a critical hit, which will deal more damage, and has obtained more HP. Lucille has gained more strength and intellect, which will strengthen her spells. Erebus gains more intellect as well. So we're just going to have a few training sessions, just to level up our character. Make sure we're strong enough to take down this Garland, away up at the Chaos Shrine in the north. 5 goblins. A new feature added in this Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. If I press a button, we can automatically set everyone to attack. However, since there's a lot of enemies, we're going to use Erebus's magic. Erebus casts Sleep. Now the enemies won't attack us, leaving them wide open for an assault. Victory is ours. So you got our first glimpse at how black magic can be used to help us in battle, immobilizing our foes. See what enemies lie in this area of the island. Another 3 goblins. Sometimes in battle you will gain a preemptive strike, which means you get to attack first. We will use the Pixel Remaster's new feature, Auto Battle, to speed this up, so you don't see me doing this a million times. This will speed up the fight. Victory is mine. Practice a little bit more. These goblins make for good training practice. Also, we get little bits of money for defeating these goblins, so it's a good idea to train. Another wolf. Auto battle. Very quick. See what lies in this forest up here. Another 3 goblins. Let's make quick work of them. Nicely done. Training is important to keep our stats high for situations like this. 9 goblins. Luckily, Amano is tanking a lot of the blows. He's a big target for our enemies. They might not do a lot of damage, but there's a lot of them. But, thanks to Erebus's black magic, all the enemies besides one have been put to sleep, leaving a lot of them open for our attacks. This allows Amano and Zhenwu to clean them up. Now we're going to use Lucille's white magic to cure Amano's health, which is rather low. Just in time. Amano's health is restored thanks to the support of Lucille. It doesn't take a lot for things to spiral out of control. Even something as simple as goblins can attack you in groups of 9. A 9 versus 4 match, but we can win. Nice one, Lucille. The Warriors of Light are victorious, and we level up once again. Amano gains more agility and stamina, meaning he's quicker and can take more hits. Zhenwu gains more stamina and agility, and receives the same. Lucille gains more stamina, allowing her to absorb more hits. Erebus gets HP. Now, the thing about magic is, you have to be very tactical when you use it. As you level up, you unlock different levels of magic. So right now, we had access to level 1 magic. As Lucille and Erebus get stronger, more and more points will be unlocked in these higher level magic chains. Excuse me. Basically, the longer we go in the adventure, the better spells we'll be able to get, and the more of them we can cast before we have to use an ether to restore them. However, this is going to explain a key gameplay feature. You can either use a sleeping bag to restore the party's HP in the overworld, camping up for the night basically. However, that does not restore your MP, which is the points needed to cast magic. As you can see, a single sleep spell immobilized 9 enemies. Well, 8 out of 9. That's still really good for a single move. And thanks to the White Mage's cure, Amano is fighting fit. We're gonna head back to Cornelia for now, to show you a very important and necessary thing to do in this playthrough. We can steamroll these enemies on the way to town. The last thing we need to show you is this building marked with a bed. This is an inn. Every town has one. For Fedi Gillanite, we can stay and get some rest. Pleasant dreams. Hopefully you're having some nice rest too, my friends, as we continue our adventure in Final Fantasy ASMR. When you rest at an inn, it doesn't cost too much, but your health is completely restored, and you gain all your MP back, well rested. As you can see, the party has significantly more hit points, and their stats are much better. Now, before we set off further to the north, towards the Chaos Shrine, I think it's time to do any gamer's sane activity. We're going to save our progress. File 1, Final Fantasy ASMR. Let's save our progress. Save complete. So, now that we've saved our progress, we're ready to head up the north to the Chaos Shrine. We're well equipped. Let's go. If there's any lesser random encounters, we'll make them quick by putting auto battle switch on. Quick battle. Let's train a bit more up here. A wolf. Any new enemies around here? 5 goblins, but we get a preemptive strike. And you can see even the simple art in the background really illustrates our travels, taking us further and further away. Almost about to level up again. There's the Chaos Shrine up there. If Garland is inside, we need to practice. He's the finest swordsman in Cornelia, so we need to be ready. Free goblin guards. Level up. Amano Green, he gains strength, agility, and luck, and more HP. Zhenwu gains strength, intellect, and luck. Lucille gains strength and luck. Erebus gains stamina and intellect. Make this battle quick. We'll try and raise ourselves one more level before going into the Chaos Shrine. Skeletons. If we get the opportunity, it's time to showcase Lucille's ability, Dia. In fact, we'll give you a full demonstration. Dia is an offensive white mage spell. Not very common, but very useful when the time is right. If you're facing undead foes, send a white mage. Does massive damage to every enemy at once. Great job, Lucille. It's a good way to get some experience, too. A Gigaswarm. Let's go all out. If these things have a lot of HP, we'll use our black magic, Fire. These guys do a lot of damage. But a fire spell does great damage too. Those enemies drop a lot of experience. Those enemies are very strong, so it's just as well we're practicing out here. keep practicing with these goblin guards. A Black Widow. Let's use Cure to heal Erebus. Oh, the enemies went down easier than I thought. So we get a feel for how powerful each individual enemy is. Skeletons. Amano and Shenwu are doing pretty good damage to them. It's just useful to use Lucille's Dia spell to take them all out at once. We just took a moment to heal up Erebus. Nice. Preemptive strike. Our training is paying off. Level up. Amano gains more HP, agility, and stamina. Shenwu gains agility and stamina. Lucille gains 6 agility. Now I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. Shenwu has had enough practice now. This is why I chose the monk instead of a thief. The monk, once leveled up, will start to have more armor and attack without equipment rather than with it. So the nunchucks are very good earlier on. Excuse me, they're very good earlier on for enhancing his attack. Now, while losing 4 attack does seem like a downgrade, there's a reason that I'm going to unequip this. You'll see the difference. Now, by removing leather armor, Shenwu actually gets more evasion, so he might avoid harm altogether. He has absolutely nothing equipped. All right. Let's see the difference. Shenwu, attack. 41 damage. Shenwu might not have any armor on, but because he's attacking with his fists, he attacks twice, effectively dual-wielding. So while Amano does have the same attack, Shenwu has the opportunity to attack more times. As Amano gets more equipment, he will get more powerful, as his weapons do. But as Shenwu gets more powerful, so will his body, spirit, and physical attributes. I think we're almost ready to go to Castle Cornelia. Just a little bit more practice, and we can take on Garland. We'll just practice a little tiny bit more up in the north. We're almost ready. Nicely done. The game is subtly telling us that we're powerful enough, because the experience it's giving us isn't really doing a whole lot to level us up, and the enemies are getting significantly easier, so it's a sign that we're doing well, and we are well prepared. what I'm going to do now is we're going to go back to Cornelia one more time and make sure we're prepared. We don't know what could be in the Chaos Shrine, so let's buy some items. We got some gil for all these battles as well, so it was worth the effort. Buy some potions. This allows any party member to heal the other, if needed. Buy some antidotes just in case. And we'll buy a tent. Now let's set back out. I think we're ready. Let's head to the Chaos Shrine. Make quick work of these goblins. Goblin Slayers indeed. Thanks to this auto battle feature, it makes the random encounters a lot faster. It means I slow down when I have the more troublesome ones, and make ones like this very quick. We get experience, and a little tiny bit of cash. Now, let us enter the Chaos Shrine. Goblin guards. Let's go looking around. We have a map, which has been added to this pixel remaster, allowing us to navigate the area a lot better. This enemy, a Gigaswarm, is very strong. Using the potion, we can heal even though we're out of magic. One small thing the game doesn't particularly mention is the order of our party. The higher up a character is in the formation, the more likely they will be attacked. So if Lucille was at the top, chances are Lucille will get attacked first. So this is why we've ordered it this way. Amano has the highest defense, so it makes sense that he would defend his friends. Go around here. 2 zombies. Let's make quick work of them. A treasure chest. The chest contained a leather cap. Well, it's not much defense, but it's better than nothing. Shenmue's attack, very powerful. All done with no weapons. Two Gigaswarms. Try and end them quickly before they can attack. Nice. Close to another level up. Let's use our potion to heal up. Two treasure chests, a potion, and a tent. Very useful. Ambushed. The enemy gets to attack first. They're going for our mages. Cast fire. Level up. Now we are level 6. More strength, intellect, and luck. More HP. And Erebus gets intellect, luck, and agility. Very worthwhile exploring these little areas, gaining treasure, more experience, and some money. Gil, excuse me. We want to become self-made gillionaires. Good training before we encounter Garland. This door has been secured with the mystic key. Guess we gotta come back here later. Making quick work of these enemies now. I like to see that. Good experience. One more treasure room. Secured with the mystic key. A Black Widow. The Shenwu. Takes care of it quickly. A lot of enemies this time, but it's a preemptive strike. Take him down quickly. If we whittle down their numbers, we can lessen the amount of attacks coming our way. Now, before we go into the center room, that's most likely where Garland is, we get a tiny bit more practice. Then we're going to rest up before we head out. Fire. Alright, it's time to rest up before we take down Garland. Let's use this tent, which will restore a lot of our HP and MP, which can only be used in the field. Let's take a rest. Alright. We have a significant amount of magic. Not all of it, but a good amount. Let's go. Before we go in, let's chill for a moment and admire the beautiful music. We can look at the map, see we've explored. 2 rooms we need the mystic key to get into. We can see how many chests are in each area we have visited. There's a bunch of chests in Castle Cornelia. We need this mystic key from the Elf King if we ever encounter them. Now, I think we're ready. Princess Sarah, this must be Garland. The king will have no choice but to exchange the kingdom for his daughter's life. Cornelia will be mine. Who's there? The king's lapdogs. Do you have any idea who you're messing with? You really think you have what it takes to cross swords with me? Very well. I, Garland, will knock you all down. Our first boss battle in Final Fantasy ASMR. Garland, the finest swordsman in the kingdom. Shenwu Namano will attack. We will defend with Lucille, and cast fire with Erebus. He does a lot of damage. Defend. See what he does. Thanks to the defend command, we can cut physical damage in half. We can gauge from defending. We can withstand his attacks. He is powerful, but we can overcome him. Play it safe. A mono will challenge Garland to a duel while the others defend. Back up. It's safer to attack with a mono, as he has more health to defend with. Lucille will support Amano with healing magic, replenishing our health. Garland falls. Our first boss battle in the legendary Final Fantasy is completed. A duel between Amano and Garland ends in victory fanfare. Next level and a nice number. 250 gil. Where'd Garland go? You've come to rescue me? I'm Sarah, Princess of Cornelia. Worlds could never be enough to thank you. This is the first time anyone's ever defeated Garland. You must allow me to show my gratitude. Please, accompany me to Castle Cornelia. Thank you for returning my daughter to my side. There can be no doubt that you are the warriors of light from Lucan's prophecy. You should hear the prophecy in its entirety, if I may. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. If they cannot gather the shards of light, the darkness will consume all. The 4 crystals will never shine again. Now I hear the crystal can be found on the continent to our north. Restoring light to the crystals is our only hope of ridding the world of the monsters which plague it. I will have the bridge to the north rebuilt, as I promised. I pray that you succeed in restoring light to the 4 crystals, and to the world. All right. The dancing girl in town knows many odd bits of information. This lute has been entrusted to the princesses of Cornelia for many generations. When he abducted me, Garland took this lute as well. How strange. I want you to have it. It may aid you in your journey. We obtain the lute. Sarah's thoughts are always with you. The Warriors of Light. I can't thank you enough for saving Lady Sarah. Our first mission is complete. Let's go check in on the Queen. I don't know how I could ever thank you for rescuing Sarah. A ton of gil would be nice. Save us having to slay monsters. But hey, be kind of rude to ask, wouldn't it? My sister's back. It's all thanks to you. All of you. I could just kiss you. Mwah. How cute. The bridge to the north. The men are hard at work. Orders from His Majesty. We have to do our part to fulfill Lucan's prophecy. Fix this bridge up. They're quick workers, huh? The bridge is repaired. What does this bridge have to do with the prophecy? The 4 warriors of light are here. They're here in Cornelia. You bet your sweet gill we are. We've got a big world to explore. We need to restore the crystals to grace and restore the world and prevent it from falling into ruin. We will head to the north and continue our quest in Final Fantasy. Before we do, let's make sure we are well prepared. A dancing girl. So why are you still here? Weren't you supposed to be crossing that bridge to the north? You must really want to dance with me. Okay, maybe we do. We've been busted. But actually, we've got to go back here for another spell. We're going to give Lucille more options in battle. We're going to give her the white magic spell, Protect, which can raise an ally's defense. We can make Shenwu or Amano more formidable, or give a little bit of armor to Erebus or Lucille, who have less defense than their fellow companions. And while we're at it, let's get some black magic. Let's buy a thunder spell. It's a way of inflicting damage to enemies, but some enemies are vulnerable to specific elementals. The difference between casting a fire or a thunder spell could be the difference between victory or defeat. Let's buy some potions. It's always good to have potions, just in case we run out of magic. And 2 sleeping bags. All right. We're just about to draw to the close of this video. I think I'll end this video when we cross the bridge through to Cornelia, so I thought I'd stop here for a moment and enjoy the chill, relaxed vibes of Cornelia. It's a beautiful place. I'd like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for making it this far in this video. If you'd like to see me continue Final Fantasy ASMR, please feel free to let me know in the comments section by dropping a like or subscribe. It's greatly appreciated, and I wanted to share this iconic, legendary franchise and its origins with every single one of you, my friends. Until then, let's set off to the bridge in the north and restore the crystals to grace. Of course, we might get a wild encounter or 2 along the way. A crazy horse. No more horsing around. Victory fanfare. Be good to end the video with this music before we go. An iconic victory song. Now, thank you very much for watching this video, my friends. And if you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And Amano, Shenwu, Lucille, and Erebus will see you in the next episode of Final Fantasy ASMR. where we will go forward to restore the crystals to grace and save the world. Thank you, and farewell, my friends. And so their quest began. As the four warriors of light, they felt overwhelmed by the great task destiny had placed before them. They did not even know the true significance of the four crystals they held in their hands, the crystals that once long ago held a light that shone so brilliantly. The time for their journey had come. The time to cast off the veil of darkness and bring the world once more into light.